So fall has officially started 2 weeks ago, and a ton of great series have already started airing, including the series that we're going to be talking about today, Frieren's Beyond Journey's End. It's a new fantasy drama series that stars Frieren, a 1,000-year mage elf, as she and her group have defeated the Demon King and are now disbanding. Aging is different for elves, so as time passes, she slowly watches her friends pass away one by one. She takes on a human apprentice called Frieren, and together they travel the world, learning new spells and making new memories. The series was originally a manga by Kanehito Yamada and illustrated by Abe Tsukasa. The series was intended to be just a one-shot manga, but the editor for the series, Katsuna Ogura, suggested that Yamada work with an illustrator after his previous work flopped. So after Yamada finished the storyboard for Frieren, Ogura sent it to Abe to create a character chart for the story. When it came back, Yamada was really impressed with his character sheets of all of the characters, so Abe was put in charge for all illustrations for the entire series. It started serializing on Weekly Shonen Sunday on April 29th, 2020 and is still ongoing. In 2021, the series reached over 2 million copies sold and ranked second for the best manga of 2021 for male readers and a new creator prize. Now, as of September of 2023, there are over 11 chapters currently out and they've sold over 10 million copies. So with all of that hype, praise, and awards won, an anime was sure to be coming. And so when the 100th chapter came out, the anime was announced with a key visual on its Twitter page. And now, a year later, the anime premiered on September 29th with the release of the first 4 episodes. The series is being animated by Madhouse Studios, who's worked on a bunch of animes like Perfect Blue, the 2011 Hunter x Hunter, Death Note, and many more series. It will be releasing an episode every Friday and will air for 2 consecutive cours, ending around March of 2024. Now, as of recording, there are currently 6 episodes out, and with a high rating of 8.9 on my anime list, this series must be special, and I think it's pretty good in a different, unexpected way. The first episode starts with Frieren and her party of 4, Himmel, Aizen, and Haita, returning to the Holy City after a 10-year adventure to defeat the Demon King. After a grand celebration, they disband, and Frieren leaves to travel the world to collect new spells. After 50 years of being gone, she returns to the city looking the same, while her old party members look old and nearing their deaths. Now, like I said in the beginning, this is a fantasy drama series, but with heavy emphasis on the drama part. You hear drama and you either picture a romantic slice of life like Your Name, or tension building action and mystery series like Attack on Titan. However, this series acts like neither one. There's no romance unless you're counting the relationship between the group, but we'll talk more about that later. There's also barely any action. We do see spells being used, but no real fight scenes yet. Eventually, when they do show up, it's meant to be taken as a big deal. The animation here is where it really shines. The fantasy atmosphere reminds me of Jobless Reincarnation or Ranking of the Kings in a way. It pops though when spells are being used. Most of the time it's something simple like moving objects, but when they use lasers and barriers, it does look really pretty. There are great looking settings. Each location they enter doesn't look copy and pasted, but also gives a sense of realism. The same thing could be said about the characters. While there are elves and dwarves and a bunch of heroes, they could be relatable and feel human instead of being just a stereotype. They have personalities, but they don't make it their entire gimmick. Character designs are basic fantasy tropes, like every main character having different colored hair, but they shine when it comes to the designs of the different demons and creatures that show up from time to time. From a plain view, there isn't really much of a story being told. It's Frieren and Frieren traveling, training, and spell collecting. For some viewers, it can be pretty boring to watch if it wasn't backed up by a crazy good score and animation. They have episodes where they're looking for flowers or they're just shopping for stuff. In hindsight, it's side quest filler, but in the overall story, it tells a lot. This is where the drama part of the series comes in. After the deaths of Himmel and Haita, Frieren feels guilty for not trying to get to know her former party members before they died. Haita begs her to take on Frieren as an apprentice after his death. She does so and is now teaching her how to defend herself and all kinds of different magic. So the whole series, we see her trying to get closer to Frieren because she wasn't able to get close to her old party groups. Knowing that info makes the boring segments of this series more tolerable because it has a reasoning behind it. There's an episode where for the last half they're just trying to find flowers to put on the statue of Himmel. It's a boring premise, but it gives the audience more information on what the group actually did during those 10 years, and it shows that Frieren does care about her old group. But that being said, it's not a perfect series. They try to mix comedy in this series and sometimes it doesn't land. Like, they have this running joke where Frieren either gets trapped in something or is super tired and she's just getting dragged around everywhere. Eventually it starts getting old. Same thing with their montages. Every episode there's a montage of what Frieren and Frieren are doing with the score just playing in the background. Seeing it for the first 2 times is fine, but after 3 or 4 times it just becomes really repetitive. And again, the boring segments, while showing character development, are still really boring. But overall, I feel like this series has a ton of potential to be one of the best up-and-coming series out right now and maybe for the entire year. I have a lot of expectations moving forward with this series. The animation is amazing, the score is crazy good, the characters are likable, relatable, and not one-dimensional tropes. For a fantasy drama series, I'm generally shocked at how original it can be, even though both genres are known to be very generic. I can't wait to see when actual fights start to happen. I'm very excited to see how far of the time skips are going to be shown, and episode 5 seems to be the start of their first real arc of this series. I'll definitely continue to watch this series weekly, and hopefully it beats my expectations out of the water. For the first 6 episodes, I'd probably give this a rating of a good 8.5 out of 10. But what do you guys think about this series? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? What are your expectations for this series going forward? I want to know all of your thoughts, all of your opinions in the comments below. Let's go ahead and have a discussion about this. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.